career upgrade. We also give master classes, not just the certificates. So all this is what you'll be looking forward to gaining if you learn with us. So if you have been holding back because of doubt or confusion or financial concerns, this will be your turning point, and we are here to help you take action. Once again, thank you all for being here, and we can't wait for you to hear from our amazing instructors and panelists. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Naomi. I'd like to remind us that this event was put together by Academia Institute. So going forward, tonight is a time of learning and relearning. What you didn't know, you get to know. What you have wrongly learned, you will unlearn. And please, if you have any questions as we go ahead, kindly drop them in the chat box for the because there will be a question and answer session, and we'll attend to as many as time will let us during these sessions. I assure you that you are not here to waste your time. Get your writing materials ready, your whatever thing you would use to jot down every value that will be dished out tonight. So we'll be going to, we'll be meeting our speakers this evening. We have the founder of Academia Institute, Comfort Ayodele. She'll be speaking tonight. We have Israel Ayodele, we have Ozenwa Oluwatobi, and Ayo Adiwi. These are experts in product design, product management, product marketing, and people who have kickstarted initiatives to help people build a career in the tech industry. They are headlining in different companies and doing great things, and they have been there, and we are trying to learn from their experiences, their failures, their successes, and that's what we'll be doing tonight. As I said, this is a meeting you do not want to be distracted in. You can leave a noisy place. If you are there, you can take yourself to a room where you can learn and listen to all that will be said tonight. So welcome once again to this fireside chat. The topic, Tech Career Roadmaps, creating a personal learning journey for yourself. Everyone has wondered that which of these paths should I follow in the tech industry? If I was going to go into tech, why does it have to be product marketing? Why does it have to be product design? What skills do I even need? Or do I have to have the potential of needing to go on a particular path in the tech industry? I assure you, you're going to have a lovely time and an insightful time tonight. I'll be introducing one of our speakers who'll be moderating the panel session, Mr. Israel Ayodele. We can just punch our emojis to celebrate him as he takes over. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you for the intro. Let me talk back. Just to confirm, can everyone hear me, please? Okay, great. So my audio is good. Awesome. So thank you, everyone, for joining today's session. And to our amazing panelists, thank you so much for joining the session. Thank you, Ayo. Thank you, Comfort. Thank you. I don't want to pronounce your name wrongly, so I think John is a better. I'm not sure. I'm seeing the first one, but I don't know if that's your first name, anyways. But thank you so much for joining us today. So as Temitope already mentioned, we are going to be having a very interesting panel session today, a very interesting conversation. And the conversation, what we're going to be discussing today, well, I think I need to mention, first of all, that it stems from, and it will stem from personal experiences. So everyone here has had years of experience. So the minimum, I would guess, would be at least 5 years of experience. And everyone has been able to go through what it would be, what it will look like as a beginner in the tech ecosystem, and then climbing the ladder, maybe getting into the mid-level stage, and then now at the senior stage. Some of our panelists, for example, here is the head of products at Pressmeet, a foremost fintech. Comfort is the founder of Academia. She has over 10 years of experience, I think about 12 years of experience in the marketing space. So I can guarantee that everyone on the panel session today will be speaking from personal experiences. So please make sure that you pay rapt attention. After the panel session, we're going to be having the Q&A. So meaning that we'll be able to take questions. So during this session, if you have any question, if anything comes to mind, you can either drop it in the chat or you write it down, and then you will be able to ask your question during the panel session. Yeah, so again, we are discussing, how you're able to create personal learning journey. And also, like I mentioned previously, we're going to be looking at, from every of our panelists, their personal experiences, how they were able to make their marks, how they were able to get started, and how they were able to, build up to the point where they are right now. And again, if you have questions, you would be able to ask your question during the Q&A session. So going right into it. I want to be sure that we're good. Yes. Okay. Awesome. So going right into it, just in case for those that are probably just joining this kind of session for the first time, maybe you do not know what the panel session is. So this is going to be interactive, meaning I'm going to be asking questions, but it is going to be in the form of a conversation. So I am going to ask questions. We're going to have conversations from those questions, and I will just go around our three panelists, and we're going to be having a very question. So if you do not know, Comfort is going to be speaking on relating to or on product marketing. So I'm going to be throwing product marketing questions. I is going to be speaking of product management. So I'm going to be throwing product management questions at him, and John will be speaking on product design. So I'm going to be throwing product design questions at him. So before we go into the specifics of each, careers or product marketing, product design, product management, and whatnot, I want to start from, general career growth questions. And so each time I do a panel session, I like to go from, just first of all, understanding from every of our panelists what their career journey has been like, how they got started, how they, what the experience was like for them starting out, and how they have found their career journey so far. Yeah, so I kind of like to start with that because it builds a background for every one of us to be able to, especially if you're starting out, you would at least be able to pick one or two things. Maybe some of their stories you might be able to relate to them because maybe you are having the same experience right now. It's the same thing you're experiencing right now, and all of those. So I'm going to start from Ayo. I am going to ask him first how he got started in product management, how the journey has been so far, how he found the journey getting to product management, and how it has been moving forward. So Ayo, please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me clearly, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to be here. I'll just get straight to it. Okay. I would say that my career in product management did not really start off with training. Let me put that way. It has a very dramatic entry point to it. So I've been a PM for 5 years, 5 years plus, right? But before then, I've been doing it without even knowing. So that is one of the things that happens. That there are times when we are actually working hard at something, but we really don't know what it's called, right? And we just keep at it, and then the day we're not aware, that's the day everything changes. So I started off informing a friend of mine in school, the final year. Uh, so I've been doing some stuff. I had a startup with a friend of mine. We employed people. He was the software engineer at the time, and I was the one in charge of projects and products. So we built software, we sent, we built websites, we built a dashboard, we built a listener dashboard, and I was just overseeing everything, right? It was actually stated in my contract that I was the product owner, right? And sometimes they say product manager, but it didn't make any sense to me. So I was just doing that. Now, a friend of mine told me about it. I said, "Oh, why don't you um, register for a course, the product management course? All right, just register for it and just take it." I didn't know that I was talking to myself. Now, my contract stated product owner slash project manager. This was 2019, 2019, there about 2020. Yeah, during COVID. And I was here telling a friend of mine, a colleague, that, oh, she was telling me that, oh, I sent this product manager. And I said, oh, go for it. Like, I saw a link by this man, I don't know if you know him, Zico Awujibe. There was a time he did during COVID. He did a seminar with someone. She was a product owner at the time. And I sent that link to her, right? So I sent the link to her. And then some months down the line, I just played that, clicked on the link, and I listened to that seminar. And it turned out that I was actually doing every single thing the lady said in that video. But now it was almost, how much was I earning there? Maybe 40K. Right? Yeah, I was earning 40K at the time, because we didn't know anything. We're just doing stuff. So I started off product management. Yeah, let me just run it like that. I started off product management, working at a startup with a friend of mine that we both co-founded at the time. And then I did consulting, product consulting for an e-commerce startup. They're also friends, right? So for me, I would say my background really started being with the right people, right? And at the same time, just putting our hands on stuff, just getting things done. And that was how it really started. So that was the experience I built on before I got my first full-time product management. We just building stuff. And we had contracts. Yes, that's totally very important. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. As always, I've heard that story before in our previous panel session. So, I mean, it's a very fascinating way of getting into any career. And well, like I said previously, I am hoping that some of us that are joining this session today, I want to believe that we will be able to relate to some of um, these stories that you would hear. So just in case you are in the same scenario, I mean, the world is not going to collapse. It might seem very tough right now, but just, I mean, our panelists were able to survive it. I was able to, I mean, figure it out eventually. You would also hear maybe similar stories or some stories from the other panelists. So it's a learning process, and just have faith and listen to how they have gone through it. And I'm pretty sure that you will learn a thing of truth from this. So, Comfort, let's go over to you. How it got started, how the career has been, or the journey has been so far for you.
Okay. I got started in marketing. I started through a friend. A friend told me that, hey, Comfort, do you know that you can impact businesses and organizations and all of those without actually leaving the comfort of your home. That means that you can impact businesses global. And me being a very, very ambitious someone, I was like curious, how can I do that? So I had no clue about what marketing is. So, and then I started learning. I took a few courses on Coursera, and then lucky for me, I had a sister who is really, really invested in my growth. So she enrolled me to a paid program where I got my nano degree in digital marketing. And ever since, it's been an interesting plus challenging journey. But one thing that I would say is that in any career, be it beyond, aside just marketing, it comes with its own unique challenges. You tend to interact with stakeholders, and you have to always you have to get people to believe in you. And one thing I've learned over this is that the only way to get people to believe in your ability in your ability to be able to deliver is to show workings. Now, that's a popular slang. They say you have to show workings. So, and how do you show workings? And I learned that early in my career, where I had to literally, start volunteering for people, volunteered for a lot of organizations, and because of that, a couple of companies that I applied for. That's my first full-time employment. I applied for a receptionist job, but because of the experience that I had as in marketing, volunteering for digital media firms as a digital marketer, and I did a good job for them. So they, instead of employ me as a receptionist, they employ me as a marketing manager instead. And from there on, a lot of referrals has gone into a lot of referrals. So it's my career growth is generally around showing workings, ensuring that you're not just saying that you're good at this, or you're not just saying that you're doing this. It's more of, ensuring that you're leaving your mark in wherever you find yourself in. So I think that's how I got started, and I think I've got to put it into giving the hint around my journey itself too. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a very interesting way to start a career, and then moving from, just another job role into becoming a manager outright. I mean, that's very interesting. So thank you so much for sharing that. John, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Right, so to help you, it's Ozenwa. I really prefer being called Ozenwa, so I hope you are able to pronounce that. So yeah,
Very kind of you.
Yeah.
I said that was very kind of you. Thank you for helping me out with the pronunciation.
All right, you're welcome, Chief. Yeah, so I started my career in tech as a front-end developer. At the time, I was writing a bit of code, and I was also doing design, but I eventually pivoted to product design during my internship back when I was in 400 level. I had the opportunity to work with an agency where I was both designing and developing, and I sort of found keen interest in doing more design because I was able to solve problems faster from a design perspective than I used to do while writing code. So, that prompted me to pay more attention to design and, grow from there. So I've had a pretty interesting career so far. Most of it were pretty figured out. So I didn't have many challenges scaling my career. Before I started even coding, I'd had 5 years experience working as a graphic designer. So when I was pivoting to product design, I had settled into the space, and all I just did was, go from, writing code to fully paying attention to the design. Now, after then, I think I hit the mark during COVID. During COVID, I had the opportunity to properly pay attention. There was no school, there was no assignments, none of those, distractions for me at the time. So I had the opportunity to settle into product design and find opportunities outside of Nigeria. It was a all remote situation at that time, right? So it gave me the privilege to begin to connect to international organizations, and it's been pretty smooth since after then, until of course lately there's been a lot of economic issues lately, but so far so good. Right now I run a startup with a few of my friends, and I primarily do design across different space and tech. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's very interesting to see someone switch from writing codes outrightly to designing. I hope that those that are considering that, you can see that you have someone that has tried it and was successful at it. So thank you so much for sharing that. All right, so moving on into our questions for today. I think I'm going to start. Well, John, you closed out on this previous question that I asked, so I think it don't make sense to start from there. So, for you, so I am going to combine two questions together, and I want to piggyback on just your own journey that you have talked about briefly. So, building out your career, or as you continued, you started doing both designing and implementing your designs, or maybe other people's designs, and then you figured, hey, it seems better to go with design because you were able to solve problems, or you were able to iterate faster than outrightly implementing or writing codes. So I want to understand from your own perspective what you would naturally consider to be having a meaningful career. What counts as a meaningful career for you? So for you, was it just about the fact that you could solve problems faster through design? Was that is that what you would consider to be a meaningful career path, and why you would naturally want to go, hey, I want to go into product design and then I want to focus on this? What exactly would you say contributes to saying, hey, this is a meaningful career? That's one. Now, combining that with the fact that when you're picking a career path, you sometimes, not sometimes, but I would assume naturally humans will want to say, hey, this goes along with my values. But there are sometimes that maybe you just found yourself in this, and along the way you found that, hey, I love doing this, and you continued with that. But then, so would you say there is a close affinity with personal values as you're making a career choice, or as you're trying to figure out what a meaningful career is like? And how do you put that together? So again, understanding the fact that you have to make money, you have to pay bills, and values sometimes may not pay the bills. Well, not fraudulent anyways, but then you love something, you want to go for it, and blah, blah, blah. But then there's also the part where you have to make money. So how do you align all of this? Building a meaningful career, figuring out if value is what you should just outrightly look out for. Then how do you now align that value part to your long-term goals, and then at the same time building a meaningful career and still making money? Yeah. So John.
All right, thank you very much. This is one question I love to answer, because I kind of have like my my decisions around my career have been very, very crazy for the most part. So I love to answer questions like this. Right. So when it comes to defining what a meaningful career is and choosing a meaningful career, from my own perspective, the most important thing is, what are your goals? What are your values? What is that one thing that you know that you can do, and no matter the circumstances or events that come out of it, you are still able to stay true and give your best, right? So I particularly chose design because, not because I enjoyed it more, but I was able to solve problems, and that gave me some sort of fulfillment. I've been doing design for about 12 years now, and at no point in time have I ever regretted it or felt like I should have chosen a different career path, because I've always found satisfaction in doing design. I've impacted more lives, made more money doing design than a few other things that I've tried all together. And it all aligns with my goals and my ambitions and the things I just want to like achieve. I enjoy designing. I am able to give my best at it. I am able to also scale, right? Which is also a very important thing. In whatever career line you're going to be choosing, it is something that you know that you can always scale, go from being a Photoshop designer to being a designer that impacts brands, being able to start your own business, start your own company, even as a designer, and reach more people, reach more businesses, impact more lives, right? So all of this put together, I found out that design was the way, or design provided me all of the opportunities and privileges. And I've been able to stay true with it. Now, in scaling my design career, I've also been pretty intentional about it, right? I don't just want to be the guy sitting on the bench in front of a laptop doing design, right? I've been able to look for the big picture, discover the big picture, and tailor my findings to my goals as well, right? So all these put together, it has been a meaningful career because I started very small. I started small and I am currently where I want to be, looking forward to more opportunities and all of that. That defines a meaningful career. If you're going to be a software engineer, of course, the first thing that brings the excitement is that you want to solve problems. You've always had ideas. You want to solve these problems yourself. You want to be able to impact, lives with the problems you solve. Then, of course, you want to make money. You want to make as much money as you can. And of course, as you grow, you also want to start a business. You want to start a company. You want to start a software company, right? That owns a business, that owns a software tool that then, scales to be a multi-billion-dollar company where you're able to employ people and also help people start their career in tech, right? All of that put together helps you define a meaningful career because it's not just about enjoying it, but there's the part where you can also make money and impact life, grow, scale, all of that. Now, for personal values, should personal values impact your decisions when it comes to choosing a career? Now, I would strongly say yes. Yes, 100% yes. I've had the opportunity to work across several tech stacks as a designer. Web3 machines, virtual reality, extended reality, 3D printers. I've done a ton for just a designer, right? I don't just stick to mobile and web. I've done a bunch of work for within different space and design. And one thing that has given me the opportunity to experience that much is being able to make tough decisions, right? One of the biggest has to be me pivoting from a job that paid me about 1,500,000 as of 2020 to a job that was going to be paying me 400K in 2020. So I was going to be taking 25% or 30% home for that job. I was transitioning from web design to XR design. And I was able to make that choice because I saw a bigger picture, right? The money was small, but I knew that it was going to provide me a learning opportunity that I would probably not get if I did not make that transition. Now, that decision has taken me, is basically the reason why I'm enjoying the things I'm enjoying right now as a product designer. That one decision. And it's because I value learning and I love to see the big picture. Beyond money, of course, everybody wants to earn more money, but not everybody is able to see the big picture in making a tough decision. So yeah, personal value should matter. When you are very aware of your goals, when certain opportunities come for you to make tough decisions, you should be able to take a look at your goals, consider the big picture, right? The first 1 year may be tough, but if you stay true with it, you know that this is going to bring you diverse opportunities, then you should go for it. Personally, that is what I would say.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So now, I see how you were able to make this choice. Well, it doesn't. So there's a great mixture of everything. So summarizing, money is important, but at the same time, you are able to look at the long-term goals and also what you personally believe in and what you think would be the great thing for you as you continue as you move forward in your career. So it's great that you are able to create a perfect blend. Let me put it that way. So thank you so much for sharing that. Comfort, I'd like to ask you, and simply I'll just say money, what you believe in, personal values, meaningful career, long-term goals. How do you prioritize? What do you prioritize? And how do you make that choice?
Okay. I think the best way to answer that question is it's all depends on the current stage that you're in your career. I think that will determine what you need to prioritize, right? For me now, what I'm prioritizing is meaningful impact first, and then money second. But for some people, depending on where you are, you most likely want to prioritize, let's say, long term. So depending on where you are in your career, you have to really think about what you want to prioritize, and focus around what your goals are in terms of your career goals or your life goals, and what exactly do you need right now to help you achieve that. So yeah.
Awesome. You were able to summarize that in very, very short words. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, Chief Ayo, so fintech people make the block money right now. I was reading something, was it yesterday, where I saw that the said Money Point was going after employees at Sterling Bank and all of these other banks, and those other banks too are pushing up and they're trying to keep and retain these people. Now, when you are, let's say for those that would want to go into fintech, I think everybody wants to go into fintech anyways because of the money. But so when you are making a career choice, particularly you want to, hey, I want to focus on fintech, or I want to be in the fintech space. And then there's the money that is, hey, money, we can make a lot of money here. Then there's also the personal values where, okay, maybe fintech is not outrightly for me, but then because of the money, let me go where the money is. And then there's also the meaningful career where, hey, 5 years down the line, I don't want to regret, or I don't want to feel like I am going to the office. And I felt there was a time in my career, there was an organization I worked for that I felt like that. I would literally wake up and I would just imagine I was not at work. I was not going to work that day. So to not being in that situation, but then still looking at money, and then still looking at long-term goals, career growth, and also personal values. How do you prioritize? What sounds like a good thing to prioritize, especially in fintech? And how have you been able to navigate it?
Okay. Yeah. So it's a very important question that you asked. By the way, shout out to Xenia, we're classmates. Right. I think I know her. Yeah. So it's
Wow.
yeah, amazing that someone that we are all proud of. Everybody's proud of. And yeah. So I think it was on the design that I saw that it was there. I wanted to chat in of the if you are on this academia program. Yes. What this. Anyways, that's by the side. Now let's take it to be honest, right? I couldn't start out planning to go into fintech. It wasn't on my radar. Like I said, I probably didn't know much about what I was doing. I started out learning about learning about how Facebook started, how they raise valuation, doing presentation on how to start a tech hub, right? So I didn't know there was a sector, right? I just knew that people were in tech. Now I started off in an agency, right, where we're building different products with different software. Now we built e-commerce software for an IT product company. We've got like 80,000 IT products on the site. So building an e-commerce software, managing all of that. You work with engineers, right? And all of that. Then we moved on to from there we did EdTech. I was in EdTech, which was a great stint. And when COVID hit, we couldn't launch because schools went off, there was nothing anymore. And that was a very tough time for me because I put all my thoughts in it that I'm doubling down. I want to be a PM at the time because I didn't want to be idle, right? I wanted to be so maybe a little backstory. We studied computer engineering, right? I said I'm engineer. If I had my way, I wish I started product management since 100 level entry level, right? It's not the same with everybody, but I feel being in computer engineering was not knowing enough about what is going on outside really delays the potential we have. Some people had the book and push stuff, but for some of us, we didn't know much, right? Like I said, there's the real tech and there's the school based tech. Before I joined the university, I was computer science club president. I should know about tech, but I don't know about tech. I never knew anything was going on with tech. I was just just doing computer hardware, and computer science club, all of this stuff. Now, uh, so when EdTech happened and COVID came, we're really destroyed because I really wanted to make something work. I wanted to have something before I left school, right? But COVID struck and it couldn't work out. And then from there, I moved on to another e-commerce, right? And in e-commerce, I was able to build my technical skill, right? Working with engineers and all of that and designers more than what I was working on the EdTech, more than when I was working on the first e-commerce, right? Now, from there, it turned out that one of the things that helped me was volunteering on a number of projects without being paid. At the start of my career, I did a VR project where they paid very little at the time. I did one for I forgot what we call it then, but it's a community platform where people with different requests will come together and then do match them and all of that. I did that pro bono. I worked on different products pro bono. One, I knew ahead of time that the only way I can compress my experience or the only way I can move fast is to compress different experiences into a particular time frame. All right. The the questions the engineering team on this project will ask you is a different question from what this engineering team will ask you. What I learned on this particular product is different from what I'm learning here. But there are times when I'll get to a point where what I've learned on this side is applicable here. All of that at the beginning of the career. And it meant that I wasn't ready to fight. It meant that overnight I was working. I get home, I was sitting down with my laptop. As I was eating, I was adding meetings because some of the meetings were at night, like just maximizing 20 hours, 19 hours, 18 hours. Why? I know that for me to be able to scale fast, I don't become a product manager for life. We all have goals, personal goals, values, right? I also know that if I'm not careful, I'll be stuck in a salary vacuum, and that vacuum is difficult to break, right? So what I did was to gather all of the experiences and make myself indispensable. So from there, I moved on and I worked on that crypto. There was a crypto project I worked on Web3 in 2021. We're working on it, but it did not fly. Right, it ended. So I had a number of failed products that didn't go, but I learned on them because we built them, right? But they didn't go to market, so I learned on them. Now, it was in that that I took interest in Web3, that I took interest in crypto, I took interest in fintech, right? And I was doing by the side. And the company I was in before I joined Personal, I was doing a lot of products. It was an agency. You're building software for different agencies, even to the point of building a gym app, a gym dashboard, a gym portal, all of that. You'll be asking yourself, gym, there's no money in it. Let me be sincere. right, in that field. But we did all of that. Why was I able to stay on top of all of this? Right, it was because early on in my career, I had already given time to cutting my teeth with multiple products at the same time. So it was easy for me to be singled out to the head of product, right? Why? The head of product is overseeing multiple products. Their PMs, right? Their work is to do the daily task to observe. Mine is to lead strategy. Mine is to lead vision. Where are we going to? But not on a single product. So it was what I've learned earlier on. Now, fintech has money. So AI products we have money. Okay, we should not deny that. It's not all sectors that have the same kind of pay potential like fintech. All right, and they need to be sincere. So if your goal is money, uh, find a way to enter a sector that pays you more, right? But for me, it was really fulfilling. So when I started growing in as a head of product, I just felt I think I want to go into fintech. Why? I saw that there were so many things that were wrong on product, on apps, bank apps, and all of that. And I felt I could make a change. So I was moved to FCMB and got into the last stage, right? But at the point when I was to come in for final check-in, I submitted documents and all. I just told HR, I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to this offer. Why? A friend of mine just told me that before you can get anything done, there are several levels, right, of approvals. That's going to delay me. I'm a fast thinker. I want to activate stuff fast. Needing to approve a lot of stuff is not for me. So even though the pay was good then, I said no, right? And I'm still looking for other stuff and all of that. And I would say that personal values are important. What do you want to be known for in 5 years' time? What do you want to be known for in 10 years' time? For me, I want to be known as someone who's done stuff in the product world, building products that actually impact people, right? And at the end of the day, I want to be a co. I have a company, a startup, but it's still in stealth, right? But at the same time, the truth is, I want to be a founder. I want to be an entrepreneur later on, right? I'm using this stage to gather money. Don't worry, gather money, right? But I want to be an entrepreneur to solve real problems, to be able to build studios for products to come up, invest in them as an angel, right? Angel investing, all of that. Because there's so much that digital products can do to impact lives. And product management is one of those ways that we can really think and put it down and share with people so that they understand what you want to do. Right. So for fintech, I would say yes. I was looking at the new salary scale, for the banks and everything. I'm like, yeah, am I in all of this? I cannot even fit into everything. It's going to be a problem because they'll say that they look at my age, they look at my years of experience and say, no, you cannot be a manager. But you cannot pay me what, all of those stuff. So I think tech has given us an amazing opportunity to earn fast, all right, to grow fast. And I think we have to harness that opportunity by making sure that we deliver impactful products. That is the only way that we can sustain for others to come in and also enjoy what we enjoy. All right. If we spoil everything, if we are just there collecting money, building stuff that doesn't work, we'll see that what will happen is there will be an implosion where people will say it's not worth it anymore, right? And that's one of the things we just really need to avoid. So I would say money is important, but the first thing is value. Then you want to see yourself in future. Like money is next, and after money, the next thing that you'll be really interested in is what do you want to be, what sector, what's your strength, yeah. So for me, I talk a lot. One, two, I think a lot. I'm the strategist. I hate coding. For those who don't like coding here, they ask someone who is a colleague. I hate coding, right? I've done design, I tried design, I built mobile app. My final year product was project was a mobile app where I built myself with my friend. Like we've done web design, I've done WordPress, I've done Python, I was a Python instructor for a while. So an instructor that is not interested in coding is going to teach something else to the student. You understand? At the end of the day, I felt where I have the most impact is influence, living by influence. And that's product management, right? You don't lead by authority, you lead by influence. This is what customers want. This is what we should aim for. This is the goal of the company. How do we work together to make sure that we get to that desired result, right? That was what I embodied. That is what I love doing. And I just aligned with it. And when struggling as a product designer, I can't do what a designer is doing. Right? I cannot. Right? That guy is something else. I don't struggle if I am a web developer. Maybe I'll still be a junior. You know. But the truth about it is we need to find where our interest lies. I think that is one of the things that is quite important. What do you flow with more? What do you easily flow with? That will really help to give us an insight into what we want.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is a masterclass on its own. You have shared a lot. You have shared a lot. I mean, the fact that there is always a goal at every point. You are doing this for this purpose to move on to the other part. And I mean, that's a lot. Let me not start summarizing it, but thank you so much for sharing all of these insights. Thank you so much. So if you're just joining us, we are having a conversation about tech career roadmaps and how you're able to create your personal learning journey. That's what we're having a conversation about. And my name is Israel Dele. I am the panelist for today. On the panel session, we have Ozeno Alwatobi John. He's a creative designer and also the design lead at Right Vision. We have Comfort Olatunde. She is the founder of Academia Institute. And we have Ayo Adewi, who is the head of product at Pressmeet. So we have been talking about how, what makes more sense, meaningful career, money, how to pair that with personal values, and how to also look at long-term goals and work towards those goals, or work towards long-term goals. So moving forward, so here we now start looking at individual career paths and how we can, just talk a little bit about, as a product marketer, as a product designer, as a product manager, what are some of the specific things that we need to know or maybe should learn about those fields. So I'll start from product marketing, and that's Comfort. And I am going to ask about key skills and mindsets, that you would, as in your experience over 10 years or more, what are those key skills and mindset shifts that you would believe to be absolutely necessary, to build a lasting and impactful career in product marketing? And then I want to also pair that with, as a product marketer, if you are, looking at, hey, this is the future, this is how maybe the skills I should focus on, the mindset that I should have, or at what stage should I have a mindset shift. How do you now make sure that your work is relevant? There are so many shifts, and every 2 market days you hear AI is going to take everybody's job and everybody will be jobless, and there is this and that, and then there's something new that comes, and there's this other automation that will send everybody packing and everybody. And true to that, there are organizations that let people go, and then there's some organizations that still hire people more. So all of this dynamism, and in the ecosystem, you want to remain relevant. So how do you now pair, what are the key skills you want to focus on within a particular time frame, and then what's the kind of mindset you should have, and at the same time, how you're able to now make sure that your work is relevant, you are relevant, and your employers still find you, or customers, as the case may be, still find you valuable, in the market.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. So first one, what are the key skills and mindsets for you to have a successful PMM career? So basically for PMM, it's think that I'll start with by saying PMM, product marketing managers, are generalists. And if you're going to get into the career of product marketing, you need to, I'm not saying that you need to know everything, like understand everything from it, like have hands-on experience on everything, but you need to have some certain knowledge in different space in marketing, because a lot of people think that, oh, marketing is just, you know, social media and posting on social media, creating content and all of it, but it's way beyond that. As a marketer, you're thinking for the customer and you're also thinking for the business. So you're like the middleman, ensuring that the customer is also satisfied and ensuring that the business is also profitable. And that is why there is this shift in marketing to growth marketing, because a lot of PMM, a lot of product marketers always add that misconception about what product marketing is. All you just need to do is take a product to the market. No, it's beyond taking the product to the market. You have to also ensure that the product stays in the market. Ensure not just stays in the market, that people continually use it, because the product can be in the market and it's just, and your users are dropping, but there's no, you know, retention and all of those, a huge churn rate. But your product marketer, your job does not stop from you taking that product to the market. So you still have to constantly collaborate with the product managers, collaborate with designers, the developers, to ensure that, okay, what is the market saying? What features do we need to introduce based on what the data is saying, the attribution tools are saying? Are they using this particular feature really well? Do we need to change the copy of this particular feature? Do we need to change the content of the CTAs and all of those? So as a product marketer, one of the key strengths of any successful product marketer is data. Any marketer that you hear talk, if you ask them what is their go-to, what's their go-to strength, what helps them achieve success, what helps them create a good strategy, you would always hear them say data. I was in a webinar workshop that Pistimi was a speaker at yesterday, and then she was asked this similar question, and the first thing she said was data. Like before she does anything, creates any strategy, when she joins a team, the first thing she's doing is checking the data, how does she check the data? She checks the analytics tools like Google Analytics and other platforms. Check the attribution tools like AppsFlyer and all of those. So if you're someone who do not enjoy looking at numerous numbers and trying to make sense out of it, you need to really learn that, because that is why when I train any product marketer and they ask me, what skill do I need to explore next? What course do I need to explore next? I always tell them data analysis, data, because you need to really, if you do not have that strength, there's some people that they just understand data, they have some certain knowledge about it. So once you look at good knowledge, you're able to make sense out of it. But if you do not have that strength, you most likely need to learn data analysis, because it's a skill that you would definitely need. You most likely be collaborating with a lot of data analysts as well. And for you to be able to understand and comprehend what they are saying to you, you most likely would need that information. And there are some companies that would hire you but would not have those robust team. So that means that you also need to learn that. And one thing that I would say has helped me over the years and has helped me witness growth, because if in every company I had worked with, there's always, within 3 months, you see them promoting Comfort. If I share my CV, you would always see after 3 to 6 months, there's this promotion to head of this, to lead of this, or to associate director or something like that. So it's always been that. And there was a company that really, my first, no, it was not my first, my fourth digital marketing career. When I joined a real estate company as digital marketing analyst, I joined them, and 2 months afterwards, I was promoted above my leader. I had the leader then, but the leader was now brought as a subordinate under me. Why? Because there is always this, I have been able to ensure that I have skills that is beyond just, what everybody think it is, like the norm. You have to ensure that you're building your capacity for the industry that you're working in, because that is what I do. I build my capacity for the industry that I'm working in. And if I just choose to go into the ed tech sector, I would build capacity for that industry, so that whatever it is that I need to do, I'm able to provide that relevant skill and that relevant skill set that helps me achieve success in my role. And that is when I was working in a real estate company as well, I had to build capacity. In fact, now I hate working in real estate. If you bring any real estate company to, I would be like, I would scream. I'm like, no, 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 because I knew the amount of work that I have to put into, the amount of learning that I have to do, because it's not easy convincing people to bring out 40 million naira to buy a property. And honestly, that's real estate is an industry that really shaped me, because that was where I also started product management career, because I wanted to build a tech product. Because that was where I transitioned into tech, from digital marketing, from associate director, and then I learned product management. And then I was like, product management is giving me a headache, please. I started collaborating with developers, and they were frustrating my life. I'm like, no, I cannot go through this level of stress. The product developers were like, oh my God. I was like, no, I cannot work with developers. I cannot. So I had to switch. Then I switched to product marketing, and I found my love there. So I just like, okay, I'm going to stay here. Product management, no, no, no. So it's about, for me, that's what I'm saying, that you have to build capacity for where the industry that you're in. And trust me, not everybody, you might be good, but you might not be good. You might not be a good fit for a particular industry. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. So find something. For me, I believe in finding what you love. If you know that's why when Ayomide said something about if it's for money. So if it's you might end up going to an industry that will pay you the millions of them, but you will get there and you will fail. You will fail, not because you're not good, but because you don't have that capacity to be able to stand or build a solid solution, or sell, or you've not built that capacity for that industry, or you don't even love it. I have a philosophy that not just me. I think there's a quote for someone that if you love what you do, you will not work one day. And that is the truth, honestly. And that's what I always look out for when I'm hiring anyone. If I realize that the way you're talking about this job or this thing, no matter how good you are, I would not hire you, because there will be this struggle. It's more like having someone who call themselves a content creator, but not enjoy creating content. It will show in your content. It's more like saying you're a graphic designer, but you do not enjoy design. I have someone who I've worked with and that I always recommend him for jobs. Always, even if you have 10, I will still give him Israel, come on, do this again. So when there was a full-time, but I recommended, even though you had a full-time job, I still recommended him for that. So because I love working, if he's designing, there's this, you would see it, you would just see it in his design. You don't even need to say too much. You can really see the passion in it. So if you do not enjoy it, you're definitely not going to be successful in it. And like I said, as a PMM, you have to really ensure that you're building capacity for the industry you're in, and you're also learning. That's one thing that has helped me. Constantly learn. Nobody's an island. Even the biggest and the biggest marketer in the entire world is constantly learning. They're constantly joining workshops. They're constantly taking short courses. They are constantly streaming on YouTube. They are constantly asking. Some of them even have mentors. So you cannot downplay the impact that mentors play in your life. They're always doing that. So because the world is changing, and marketing in itself too, there are fundamentals in marketing that definitely would stay, but the application might change. And that is why you have to constantly ensure that you are learning and improving yourself. If you don't want to pay for courses, read articles, take on ebooks, find mentors, engage with people on LinkedIn to ensure that you are always aware of the new things that are happening. Because at the end of the day, that is why they will lay you off, and they will hire another marketer, and you think that, oh, but it's just because that person had a relevant skill for that time that they needed, because the company is evolving. As the company is evolving and moving and growing, if you're not growing, they will hire someone else that fits into that current state of the company. So that is my advice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I think by the virtue of our name, Israel, so I think all Israels are pretty good at their work. It doesn't mean that everybody Yeah, we are not good to. You can fight for yourself and for your name and for your group. But anyways, thank you so much for sharing. So I have a follow-up question, and my follow-up question, I want to cover around remaining relevant and valuable, being valuable. Somebody is coming. I mean, something somewhere is coming to take somebody's job in the next 2 days, next 3 days. So there is a significant shift. So I have worked with organizations. I still work with organizations now where, I mean, it's the economic situation. Every organization is revenue focused. Even those that raise money, there is still that fight and the struggle for, hey, we want to be making money or revenue as fast as possible. Cash flow is king. I just read something from the founder of Nigerians a few minutes ago, where he was talking about the things he has learned in the battlefield as an entrepreneur, and revenue were, I think, 3 or 4 of the points that he mentioned. So seeing that organizations, founders, CEOs, owners, and even head of this and head of that, everybody's looking for how to generate revenue. So would you say that it makes more sense as a product marketing person to, in terms of being relevant in the future and also being valuable in the eyes of your employers and in the industry as a whole, does it make sense to start focusing on growth? Or does it also make sense that whatever it is you might be doing right now, maybe you've put a little bit of growth in it, a little bit of revenue-driven mindset and whatnot in it? Or can you just focus on whatever it is you're doing now, but find a way to reinvent? I know you've done everything. You've done revenue, you've done growth, you have done content, you've done everything. So what is your best advice from your own experience? Growth or not growth?
Okay. For me, maybe because I'm always looking out for money. So every single thing that I do, I always tie it to the most important objective of the business, right? So because growth is whatever is more important for the business at that particular moment in time. So I think a lot of people have that misconception about what growth marketers do, because when you're a growth marketer in the current, for example, now, if the product is launching and at that moment in time, what the company wants to prioritize is user base. So the growth metrics at that particular moment will be growth, will be number of users that comes in, number of people who are coming into using the platform, number of signups, and number of subscribers. But there will be a moment when the company would now move away from just user base, not be revenue. And that is why your growth metric will now be number of subscriptions, number of paid users, customer lifetime value. So it's always dependent on where the company is at this particular moment in time and what matters the most. So, but a lot of marketers, product marketers, and every other marketing specialist would rather focus on, what they think marketing is. And everybody think that marketing is just, let's make that noise, let's create the buzz, but that's not it. And that is why the marketing team is always the first one to go when they're laying up, because we always want to send out that huge budget and run ads and all of that without clearly articulating what exactly is more important for the business. If the business is looking to drive revenue and you're coming to them with the thousands and the millions of ad budgets and with no concrete plan on driving revenue for them, because it is possible for you to run ads and all of those ads are not yielding money for them. So what is that structure that you have created that would help the company make money? So as a growth marketer, you're not just running ads or optimizing the SEO, the website, and all of creating copies. No, you are also optimizing the sales funnel, the lead funnel, collaborating with the sales team, coming up with partnership strategies, coming up with a way to ensure that there is the customer acquisition cost is not off the roof and the company is making money at the end of the day. So the most important for any product marketer to be relevant, or any marketing professional to be relevant, you have to find a balance between awareness and sales. You have to find out between creating demand and actually getting them to convert to sales. But if you're not sales driven, for me personally, I am very, very sales driven. So if I'm creating a strategy for you, and if you're joining, if you're having me on your team, know forever that definitely I would want to get into those data, get into the sales, ask questions around the lead generation. I remember when I joined a particular company as a growth marketing lead, the first thing I did was to get all the sales team on board. That was weird because they felt like, well, they had a growth person initially, but the person would just focus on creating content and was doing all of those. But my first 2 weeks was focus having conversations with the sales team, looking at their sales, the pipeline, going to the CRM and seeing how we can automate things better, seeing how we can make, and that gave me insight into why a lot of leads are coming in, but there were no conversion. So I had to reduce some sales scripts to ensure it aligns better. I had to listen to some of their voice recordings to ensure that, okay, are they saying the right thing? So, and that is something that a lot of growth marketer or marketing professionals do not want to do because they feel like, oh, it's just a sales job. But trust me, and that alone got me promoted to head of growth in less than 6 months. Like I said, so it's about what you do, the extra things, the extra mile you do, or the extra skills that you have that most likely positions you for better opportunities, even in your current place of work, and also help you remain relevant in your organization. The thing is that you don't have to be good at so many things, but you have to be good at what really matters the most for that company. What really matters the most for that particular company. So if you're there, like, why did I learn product management while I was in the real estate company? They had no business with product management, but because they see this, Jen Sherman mentioned, well, I've always been talking about Coach around, he wants to be the tech company that sells real estate, he wants to do that. And then I was like, okay, interesting. And I did more research, and then I learned product management. And then I told him, oh, I finished learning this product management and all of those. And then he gave me the opportunity. And while I was there, I built 3 solutions for them. And that gave me the opportunity to become associate director. So, and even now, they want me to become a C-suite executive, that I'm still, saying, I don't know if I want to do this or not. So, but it's about remaining, and that's something. You don't have to be good at a lot of things. It's about being good at what really matters to the company. And the moment you're able to find out what really matters to that company that you are in, trust me, you remain relevant. Even if they lay off everybody, they would keep you, not because you have a role, or not because maybe their current position, not because you're better than every single person, but because you're good at one particular thing. Someone mentioned something to me 2 days ago that they have been doing a lot of layoff in the past 2 years, but they keep changing the role of one person. They've changed our role for 4 times. She started as program associate. For program associate, they moved that to executive assistant. From executive assistant, moved that to people and process lead. From people and process, they moved that to customer success lead. Why? Because there is something different about her. So they lay off everybody in our team and they promote her and they give her another role because they want to keep her in the company. Because there is something she's there's something different that she's very, very good at. And that is negotiation, and she has this people skill. So it's something, it might not even be about your job in itself. It might be something else, it might be your soft skill that would even keep you in the company. So like I said, one thing I would say for this to remain relevant is that you don't have to be good at everything, but be good at what really matters to that particular company that you are in. That is how to remain relevant in any company. And in terms of career general, constantly learn. Nobody's an island. You have to, don't say you've gotten there now. Oh, I'm now head of this global regional director. I don't need to learn. Forget it. I have someone that will take your place and then move you aside. So for general growth, learn, but for where you are in, be good at what really matters the most for the company.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so that was very insightful. Thank you so much. We have very limited time, actually, by our timeline. We have just 6 minutes to go. So I want to see how we can put so many things together. So pardon me and permit me if I'm going to be bombarding our panelists with so many questions in one. So John, I'm going to over to you, and I want to combine, I think, about three questions into one. So, just to pick up on, or just to follow up on what Comfort already mentioned, and also to touch base on the previous thing you talked about around, as a product designer, what makes sense to go on with in your career. So, let's assume, also, okay, not just assuming now, you already have experience. So, when you were somewhat of a junior designer, and also that would mean that we're not speaking to those that are probably aspiring designers, pro designers, or they are maybe junior designers already. So there might be this thing where I worked with a lot of product designers over the years, and there's some times where some people, well, I think maybe by nature, some people are not just, they just do not want to talk about revenue, or they just, hey, I want to design things, and how do we make money off of this? Oh, well, it's not my problem, it's not my business. It's the product manager or the growth people or the marketing people. And then there's also the part where let's say there's a company that they are very focused on revenue, and they want the designer to think about revenue as well as much as they're expressive in their creativity, and then they are also able to solve problems. So for you, over the years in your career, do you think there is an easy way to create a blend? Do you think it is also necessary for a product designer to think, maybe not all the time, but at some point, if I design this, will it at the end of the day be able to make money for this organization? And is that supposed to be able to guide a designer's creativity, as well as being able to tie it to, I am solving a problem through my designs, and I want, in that process, we should be paid for solving that problem, not just designing to solve a problem and just expressing creativity. Do you think it is necessary to combine these three things: revenue, creativity, solving problems? And at the same time, do you think this would make someone a successful product designer as they continue their career? I've combined so many things together. Please, why don't you permit me?
Yeah,
But I hope
all
you got
good.
it. Yeah, right.
Yes, I did. You're asking one good question, although it's in different facets, and I would want to keep it pretty simple. And that is, all of what you've asked makes a good designer, right? So at this point in time, it's beyond visuals, it's value. I once had the conversation with a few friends of mine who have the notion that Nigerian employees don't pay designers enough money. And I was sharing somewhat like a testimony how that for the most of last year, I worked with mostly Nigerian customers, and I was doing proper six figures. Did I say six? 7 figures, proper 7 figures with Nigerian like employers. And when they asked me how I was able to do it, I emphasized on it's the value they pay for, knowing fully well that when I get the job, I'm not just solving a design problem. I am thinking about the business and how they as founders can actually make more money. There have been instances where a founder comes to me and is like, he wants to improve the quality of their design because of this, because of that. And though I'm supposed to be happy to take the job and help them build and get paid, I had to like first and foremost do a product audit where I realized that they probably don't even need a design change. They just had to think about things differently. Eventually, all I got paid for was consulting rather than doing an actual design. Because for me, what matters the most is success. Success for a client is success for me as a designer. Success for my company or success for the company I'm working with results to success for me as a designer. Beyond me doing pretty screens or designing pretty screens and all of those fancy stuff, the business is the most important, right? And that is exactly what counts as value. That is what people would eventually pay for when it comes to design, right? So it is possible to think about all of this as a bunch, it is definitely possible, right? So, and I think it begins with understanding business. Of course, as a junior designer, that may be difficult for you to, it may be difficult for you to draw the line that what is a successful business and how does design impact a successful business. It may be difficult for you to understand that thin line, but what I particularly did was to learn a bit of business and learn some, some pretty important things when it comes to user experience and how um, user emotions can be triggered with design and all of the things users are in need of and how that design can impact all of those areas. Now, then combined to how, to the business goals. Some business goals don't necessarily need fancy design. You can just keep it simple, reduce the number of screens, reduce the number of flows, prioritize user emotions and user feedback and all of that. And you just make more money because now the users have what they need and they're able to get it done easier, right? So it's all a bunch of the whole big picture. Of course, you can then take each one individually. For a founder, is more concerned about making money, does not care about design. For a product manager, he just wants more features. He really doesn't care about design, or probably just, and then the different roles have their priorities. But I think the central point then is for the designer to think about the decisions I'm about to make. How does it impact the users, and how does it impact the business? So yes, I do believe it's possible to think about all at the same time, because that itself is the value you're offering as a designer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for summarizing and putting all of this together in very, very short form. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to go on to Ayo quickly and ask almost the same question, but in a different fashion. So, well, John already accused us, product managers, of looking for more features. Well, in my case, it's not the same. But then, for you, Ayo, what would be your advice to someone who is just starting out their career, or maybe they're just junior product managers, and then they're trying to find meaning in their role. So again, I use myself as an example. I mentioned that there was an organization I did a stint for, and I had to quit that work within a month because it was just not working for me, and I was finding it difficult to even comprehend that I need to do something for this organization, or I need to build something for this organization, because it was not a great environment, and I could not find myself in that organization at that point. So as an early product manager, that well, there's also the part where maybe you're trying to, okay, maybe this is part of the job, and then maybe it is the tough part, and then I have to continue with it and use it as a learning curve, and there's all of these emotions coming together. You're trying to figure out how to find meaning in that role, and at the same time how to fulfill your career path, and how you're able to still build a lasting product or impact on the product you're building, all of this together, and there's emotional roller coaster at some point. So for you, how would you advise a young person that is just getting into product management? How would you advise them to be able to manage the emotional roller coaster that comes within a product manager?
Thank you so much. So, very, very spot on. Well, for someone who is just starting out in the career, or someone who is still at that stage, I think one thing you have to know is you cannot fake your skills at the end of the day. So most of the time, the skills we own, the skills that announce us, they were forged into the darkness, or they were forged when things were tough. They were forged when nobody was praising you, nobody's seeing what you are doing. For instance, now, um, this between last year and this year, I've had quite a number of speaking engagements, right, on
Mhm.
3, 4, 5 years ago. I had one or two. Why? I had there was nothing really. I was in my building phase. Like I was working hard for like sleepless nights. There were times when I was totally frustrated. There were times when I would tell my wife, that was my girlfriend at the time, that I'm done. I'm done with this place. I'm fed up, right? But you know, she comes me down saying, just endure at the right time. Now, in enduring, it didn't mean I was passing time. It means I was doing the work. Because at the end of the day, see, what we have to tell ourselves is that if you leave a role today, or if you leave a role either because they fired you or you got a different offer, right? The only thing that you miss will be maybe the salary or the PC. The stuff you learn during that time cannot be taken from you. There's nobody that can take what you learned, all right, in a role away from you. All of the struggle, all of the learning, all of the mistakes, nobody can take that away from anybody. All right. And what that means is if I knew that that's the one thing that cannot be taken from me when I'm submitting my laptop, when I'm submitting my ID card, right? Then it means that in the time I have, what I need to do is to make sure that I learn enough so that by the time I am leaving, I am much more fulfilled that what I've learned, I'm taking it somewhere else to show them that I'm capable. I'm capable. There's this saying in out there, all right, of a CEO and executive that was informed that one of his employees performed, made a mistake that cost the company $100 million, right? Now, the employee ideally should be sacked. But what happened was that the executive called the employee and said, you made this mistake. Did you learn anything? And I said, yes. And then I will not do that again. This is what I said. And I said, okay, let's keep it. Why? Because the moment that employee leaves your company, because he signed in for that mistake that cost your company $100 million, you have actually saved another company from making that $100 million mistake. Because nobody in their right sense will go to another company and make the exact mistake that sent them packing from the first. So it means that you use your company to make this person learn. This person learns in your company and is applying what he has learned somewhere else. So to a large extent, I would say doubling down on work. There's a time when you say you have to do. There's a time when emotions will fly left and right. I started turning down a number of roles or a number of side contracts. Why? Because at the end of the day, I saw that I have 24 hours. Before now, I was able to combine a lot of things. But right now, I'm striving for something else. So it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of what I'm doing. It's knowing that the people I'm working with must add value, right? The moment I knew that having the right skill or being sure of your craft is very important was when, so I'm part of the board of African Isolated Partnership. So I'm on the board, but I'm an observer on that board. Now, one of the people on this board, these are people with 25 years, 30 years, 40 years experience in the energy sector in the world, from Germany, from France, Australia, uh, Ghana, Nigeria, United Kingdom, United States, India, right? All of these people are sitting on the board. I work directly with the secretary general, who is a Ghana. He's been in the financial sector for a long time. Now, I've been working in Nigeria, right? But these guys have solid experience outside in Europe. And how will I then become a board member, or how will I be, um, picked? So I've been working for them, doing stuff for them, and they said, "Hey, Ayo, do you want to be a part of the board? You want to join the board?" I was like, "What would I be doing on the board?" Because I've never been on the board before, right? And he said, "Yeah, I like you. I like how you work. You know your onions, right?" And they nominated me to the board. So when I look at it, that gives me confidence that so all of my many years for many hours, sleepless nights of working hard, building my craft, owning my skills and strategy, product terms, all right, knowing when something works and when it doesn't work. I would disagree with Toby on this. You are not really looking for to build more features, all right, or building more skills. You actually want to reduce them, if you know. So owning my craft, all of that paid off because some guys out there who have a lot of experience saw me and say, "Oh, this is not a typical Nigeria." Let's say it in quotes. This is someone who is good at what he does, and they will respect you. I can't start building that competence now. I built it way back, and it is that I'm building on. I'm building on what I've built on before right now. Second part of it is what our product CNN boss said, right? It is also a place of learning every time. Every time. There's a new technology out there you have to learn. There's a new rule out there, a new regulation you have to learn. There's a compliance issue you have to learn. For instance, there was a meeting I was on last week. I was speaking with some guys from chain analysis, right? And they're saying that, oh, there's a travel rule regulation, blah, 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 blah. And as we were talking about it, I was checking it on my laptop, right? And they said, "Oh, hey, what do you think about it?" And I was talking to them as if I knew it since how many years ago, right? They said, "Yeah, yeah, we see your point, we see your point." And that was what sealed a partnership with my company and Chainalysis, right? Because they saw that, oh, we can partner with this guy. But it's about learning. We can't be people who knew the past. We have to know more. So what will differentiate anybody in this regime, let's say that way, or in this sector right now, is the amount of stuff you can learn and apply. Is the amount of stuff you can use to differentiate yourself. You have to differentiate yourself. You can't be like every other person thinking you go do this stuff. You have to differentiate ourselves. And what is the end goal? That end goal is very important. Do we just want to end up as a senior PM at a company or a director of product at Google? What is the end goal? That is what drives it. I have there's an app or there's something I do that I started very early on in the career. LinkedIn, very powerful tool. I look for product managers, all right, that I like their profile. And what I did was I checked everything they wrote in their job description. I also checked the licenses they got and the certifications they got, right? And for the ones I could learn, I quickly got it. For the ones I could that were free, I got it. For the ones I have to pay for, if I didn't have the money at the time, I looked for something similar. I had a retinue of them, even till now. So for the next stage of my career, I already have LinkedIn profiles of people out there that I'm looking at almost every time. Oh, this is what this person is doing now. So when they announce a news or something, announce something, I'm aware ahead of time because I've seen stuff, I've seen how they are going, right? So I can picture the way I'm also supposed to go. All right, I can picture it. And that's something that is very important that we need to see. That it makes our journey easier. All right. You can chart the paths, like what Toby is doing with his team. At the same time, you can look at those who have succeeded ahead and chart a path that follows them. In your charting the path, you'll find out what actually works for you, and that becomes your uniqueness in life's journey. So I would say the place of owning your craft is a no-brainer. We have to be certain that we are good at what we do. There is no other way to it. And yes, imposter syndrome is real. Imposter syndrome will always come in. The feeling of not being who you say you are. The feeling of not feeling like, oh yes, you know how to do it. It's going to come. And we need to just do it. You have to believe that you can do it. All right. So yeah, I would say that that's very important. That's what I've learned, and that's what I would really say people should learn here. You have to have that skill. You have to do what you are good at. You have to do your honors. Technique. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Always insightful as always. Thank you so much. So we've been here 14 minutes over time, so I want to be able to close this out in the next 5 minutes. So for those that maybe you joined us along the way, you can leave your questions in the chat, and also you can if you have any questions, you can raise your hands now, so that as we close out of this session, you can ask your questions immediately. So you can either drop your message, your questions in the chat, and I'll read them out, or you can raise your hands and we'll call you so that we can go through that. So to my final question, and I'm going to be spreading this across to both John and Comfort. So managing burnout. I mean, for anyone getting into the tech ecosystem for the first time, there's always I want to prove myself, or for those that are pretty serious, I want to improve myself. I want to prove to everybody that I'm pretty great at this. And that would lead or become a scenario where you have to work long hours, even if your close time is by a particular time. Especially if you work remotely, you would be required to work longer hours, because you're not conscious of, hey, I have to close and go home and beat Lagos traffic or whatever traffic you have to deal with. You're at home and you just kind of lose track of time. So as a result, there's burnout. So for young professionals or young people or anybody just getting into the ecosystem as a whole, I think I would just like to get one or two insights from the both of you to understand how you've been able to deal with burnout, and how people can deal with burnout, essentially. So let's start with John, and then we go over to Comfort afterwards.
All right, thank you very much. One good thing I like to tell people is that your work is just another part of your life. It's not your entire life, right? So, planning for work, planning for free times, planning for breaks, planning for every other aspect of your life is also very important, just as much as you plan for your work. That simply means that you should take breaks and sometimes, do other things that are not work related. That is basically what I do. As much as I am just, if not more, I handle more work stuff now than I used to back then, but I have more free time now than I used to back then, because I prioritize other interesting things now than I used to at the time. Yeah, of course. For someone that stays in Lagos, it's a different ball game, especially when you work in an office. A lot of that can become stressful. The Lagos traffic, getting up in the morning and having to go to work and back in the evening. But just like I said, have other interesting things that you do, or start prioritizing other parts of your life so that you can create some form of balance. That helps you, escape the pressure that work can bring sometimes. That's like my little advice for handling burnouts.
Okay. For me, so okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. For me, so how I undo burnout. I'll say I'm still trying to learn that. Still trying to learn that, and I think what I did this year, I become more intentional about it. So because I lead a large team, and everyone needs me like almost the same time. Everyone needs me. Comfort, you need to look at this. Comfort needs to look at this. Comfort needs to review this. Comfort needs to sign off on this. Comfort, can we have a one-on-one and all of this? So, and that can be really chaotic, that I don't even have time to do the things that I want to do. the things that I need to do. I need to close out on some presentations. I need to close out on some board deck and all of that. So what I do, and because I've spent the entire day attend being on the be the go-to person for every single person and attend to everybody, but I've not been able to attend to myself. So I have not spent the rest of the my night time that I should be resting. And I'll stay awake for to 1 a.m., 11 p.m. I'm still, with my laptop and all of those. So what I decided to start doing this year, I think we got to January 1st, that's January 6th. What I started blocking my calendar intentionally. So because I use Teams, so a lot of people can easily see my availability. So I'm available, so they'll just fit in something. The HR would just fit in an interview for a growth associate because it's showing that I'm free there. So what I did, I now block my calendar. So I intentionally put block it for 2 hours, 3 hours. So I space it within the day. So there's a time block from morning from 9 a.m. to a certain time. There's another time block from 12 p.m. to a separate time. There's another time block again. So I intentionally block so that if you want to fit in something, it's already closed. And if you try to reach me, you already know that my calendar is blocked already. So that has helped me create a balance, during the day so that I'm able to do the things that I want to do while still giving adequate time to the team to work. And then, but one thing I know that I have tried, I'm still trying, I'm trying to be intentional about is ensuring that I do not do work-related tasks I did not open my laptop for work-related things on a weekend. So whatever it is that I cannot do on my mobile phone, I would not do it because definitely you'll get tired because let's say I'm a workaholic. So it's not like, and because I'm doing what I love doing, so I'm enjoying it. So, but sometimes working on your mobile phone can be really, really tedious. So if I cannot do it on my mobile phone, I'll just leave it till Monday. So that is one thing that I know that I'm intentional about, and I think it's helping me create that balance in some ways. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I think from the both of you, what you have shared, I have to also personally learn. I have learned some from the both of you, particularly around taking breaks and having fun with my life. So thank you so much for sharing this as well. Yeah, so I cannot see questions in the chat and I cannot see anybody with their hands raised. So I want to believe that we do not have questions and the session has been pretty impactful, insightful, and very, very clear. So thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you, Yomide. Thank you, John, Noah. Okay, is there a question? Okay. Thank you, Comfort, for joining today's session. Thank you for sharing your practical experiences and your insights with us today. Well, I have been the moderator for this session. My name still remains Israel Dele, and I think I'll be handing over to Temitope now as she closes out the session. Thank you once again, everyone, for having me. Have a great evening ahead. Bye for now. Yeah.
Wow, that was a very, very insightful session. Hearing from all the experts from product design, in product marketing, product management. I don't think I really knew what goes into all these different career paths until I heard all the speakers speaking about it and how to create a path that would really work for you. So once again, thank you all for joining. And we have come to the end of this webinar. However, this is the first step you have taken to either learn a tech skill, to create a personal journey for yourself in the tech career, or to upskill, or to pivot to another career in tech. So we at Academia, we are providing a platform for you to begin that first journey, learning a skill. Our speakers have spoken about learning, knowing what you know your onions, getting to know what your career is supposed to be about. Learn the skill that you need. So if you want to go into product marketing, product design, product management, begin with learning the skill. And academia offers all of that. And also we offer video editing and software engineering if you're like Zenwa, who started off with front-end development. So you can communicate with us on our WhatsApp number. It will be posted now in the chat box. And you can reach out to us anytime. We have mentors, we have career advisors that are here to guide you every step of the way. This is just the beginning, and I am hopeful and I'm anticipating that we will do great things from learning all that we've learned tonight from this webinar. Once again, thank you so much for dedicating your time to learn from these value-packed speakers, and we hope to have you join us again in any of our webinars that we'll be posting. You can follow us on our social media accounts at Academia Institute, and there is much more to learn, much more to do. So once again, thank you all for participating. As I said, I would paste the WhatsApp number that you can chat us up so that you could register for any of our courses to begin your tech career. Thank you all, and I do hope you have a lovely night.
Bye, everyone.